All right, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to switch it up a little bit and talk about some nutritional concepts, which ties right into physical activity. I think a lot of times that's the missing piece. People are working so hard on their training, or they're trying to move and exercise, and they really haven't looked at their nutrition at all. They just kind of eat the way they do, and then they're wondering why the results aren't there. And so one of the things I think that we do when we think about eating is we think about the macronutrients. We think about how much protein should I eat, or, how much fat, low fat and low carb, and how many carbohydrates. And I think that's great. I think that is a big piece of the puzzle, is kind of knowing those macros and kind of knowing caloric intake. But a lot of people get to that point and they just stop there. They don't dive any deeper. And I think when people make that mistake, they're not diving deeper into their health. They're just thinking about what they look like. They're thinking about adding muscle or burning fat. Those are great goals, but I think if you take care of your health and you feed your body right from the inside out, the outside will take care of itself. So I wanted to kind of direct your attention to maybe a very underrated health skill that I want you to think about. I'm going to give you 3 examples today, and then take it from there. Start looking at food labels a little bit differently than looking at the square black box that we teach you a lot about, the nutrition facts. That's just one piece of this puzzle. So we're going to start with some really basic ingredients that are probably in your fridge right now. And they might be telling you one story, but if you know where to look, you'll see the real story. It's kind of like that, don't judge a book by its cover. All right, so let's start with ranch dressing first. I'm going to tell you what to look out for, and maybe even give you a product idea that would be better for you. So we've got a conventional Hidden Valley Ranch, the beautiful farm on here, and fresh and nature, and that's all marketing, right? And then we've got a product from the same company that is a light product, right? Low fat, which is, such a tricky thing. And then we've got a third product here, different company, and this is an avocado ranch. And, I'll talk more about this in a moment. So ranch, we typically look at, and I know this is probably backwards, but we look at the macros. But what I want you to do is look at the ingredients and read the ingredients. That's really where the whole story is told to you. The first ingredient is vegetable oil. Okay, vegetables, right? Vegetable oil, that's gotta be good. It's unsaturated. We really got it wrong when we taught about unsaturated versus saturated, especially vegetable oil. Soybean and canola oil, they're not your friend. These are highly inflammatory oils. They're highly processed oils, and they're not the kind of oil. So even though they're vegetable, they're not good for you, and you should avoid them as much as possible. And unfortunately, if you eat fast food or you fry foods or buy fried foods, 99% of the time they are using soybean or canola oil because they're very inexpensive, they work, they taste great, but they're really not good for us. And it's not about gaining weight or anything like that. They create inflammation in the body, which leads to many diseases that we suffer from as we get older in age. So you want to look out for that. Another thing that's in products like this, so what they do is, this is a light product, so they decrease the amount of fat in the product, but they have to add back flavor. And one of the ways they do that is they use something called maltodextrin, which is a sweetener that they'll use. But the problem with maltodextrin is it's very processed food, and it creates an insulin spike. And that's something we want to avoid. You do not want an overabundance of insulin in your system, because that's allowing your body and creating an effect in your body where it's holding on to its own body fat. You're not using your own fat reserves, the more insulin that you have flowing through your body. So you don't want to spike it with a man-made product. Insulin is fine. I'm not telling you don't need it. It's a hormone that's incredibly necessary, but you don't want an overabundance of it. So why would you eat a product that's supposedly light and healthy for you and lower in calories, but really what it's doing is it's spiking your blood sugars and spiking insulin. So what I would tell you is look for dressings that have a base or 100% avocado oil or 100% olive oil. Those oils are going to be outstanding for you. And really heart healthy and very good for you. Those are healthy fats. So Costco, Trader Joe's, and those kind of places, even the regular supermarkets now are getting on board with these products that don't have these highly processed oils or highly processed ingredients. Now, very quickly, let's talk about nuts and seeds. These are very healthy things, right? Almonds, cashews, these are pepitas that I have here for you. I want you to look for raw, or I want you to look for dry roasted, because when it just says roasted, what is it roasted in? 99% of the time it's going to be roasted in, you guessed it, canola oil or soybean oil. And these are not great oils. So they took a really healthy seed or nut, and then they cooked it in a very highly processed, highly mechanized oil that's going to be inflammatory. So look for dry roasted or raw. And those are going to have much more health benefits. Peanut butter. Okay, I don't have a Jif or a Skippy in my house. We just have Teddy's. What's the difference? Well, Jif usually has a lot of added sugars, and they also have ingredients or fillers to make the peanut butter a lot more spreadable. We love that, and it's creamier and the texture is a lot better. But these ingredients are just not heart healthy. They're not going to be good for us. They're going to create inflammatory responses, and the added sugar is going to create an insulin spike that peanut butter in its natural state will not create. So when you're going to buy a peanut butter, and Teddy's is a great one, but there's other ones too, you're looking for roasted peanuts and salt. Those should really be the only two ingredients, and it should be sea salt. Even salt has maltodextrin in it, like Morton's, they have fillers in there, all kinds of things. Salt isn't just salt. It should be sea salt, or it should be Himalayan pink salt. It shouldn't be any other additives in your salt. All right, last one I want to talk about today is mustard, right? Mustard is a 0-calorie food. What's the problem? This is a great thing. It's awesome. Man, I'm on a diet, or I'm trying to watch my calories. Well, if you look at the ingredients list, even mustard is getting in on the party here for additives, food additives. So it says natural flavor. Oh my gosh, if you read food labels, natural flavor is in almost everything that you can eat. So this is going to be a tough one, guys, but I'm not telling you it's the end of the world, but just know what natural flavors is. Food companies can take something with a natural derivative, okay, like like a vanilla bean, or just anything that's natural, but then they can take that and bring it into a chemical lab and test it and add things to it, add thousands of things to it, and it's a flavor enhancer, so it can make the product taste a little bit more like cherry or a little bit more like mustard or whatever. But it's really a very highly processed and engineered food product. And they don't have to tell you what they did. So natural flavors is very innocuous. It doesn't sound too scary, but it's pretty scary. It's highly processed. So I would say whenever you can, avoid natural flavors. So there's your regular mustard, or you can go with a stone ground mustard. I know they're not the same thing. If you like real plain Jane mustard, it's not the same. But this one here, it just has water, mustard seed, vinegar, salt, citric acid, and turmeric, which is a spice, actually very healthy spice. So this would be a much better option. So guys, just in summary and in closing, when we're thinking about nutrition, don't just think about that black box. Think outside the black box and read the ingredients and look for words in there that look a little funny to you, or you're not really sure. And then you live in the day and age where you can look something up really easily. Just type it into Google and say, what is that ingredient? And what are the pros and cons, or what are the possible harmful effects of that? And just and think a little bit more than what they want you to hear or what they want you to know. Because honestly, these food companies, they don't care about your health. They care about selling you a product, and they care about engineering a product to your tastes evolutionarily. That's it. They'll take chips and learn how to make them crunch just the right way, so you want to eat more and more and more of them, so that you can't stop buying them. When they said you can't just eat one, they were right, and they were making it that way. That was Lay's that said that. So educate yourself, read food labels, and when you can't read it, or the food ingredient list is this long, you probably shouldn't be eating it. So I really hope that helps you guys just think a little bit more about your nutrition. And last thing I want to say is feed your body from the inside, and the outside will take care of itself. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.